दीप्ति भगिनी नमस्काराः। कृपया प्रारंभं कुर्वन्तु इति प्रार्थये।
नमस्कारं सर भगिनी।
Namaste Sarvebhyah. Hardam Swagatam. Let us begin with the prayer. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na guroh paramam shishurasmi guroho matirasti gurau mama pahi guro ब्रवीमि संस्कृतं वाचा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं हृदा कुर्वे सेवाञ्च कायेन वन्दे संस्कृतमातरं यो नरः संस्कृतव्योम्नि ह्यालयं रमते मुदा संस्कृतिं चैव संस्कारं विन्दते नात्र संशयः. I welcome everyone to today's session. NETRUTVA model for leadership. So model for leadership, team development. So I'll welcome one and all. This session is going to start from today, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. every Sunday. So I would like to tell about how to join the session. I think already you people are aware, but still wanted to say once, and I wanted to share how to access the content of the course. So already everybody will come here and you will log in. Already if you log in, it will be showing as my learning. If you click on my learning, it will be taken to your dashboard. So once you enter here, class will be seen here. So once teacher start the class, join now button will appear. If you are already logged in before, prior 8:15 or 8:20, again, please request all of you to refresh your page so that the join now button will appear. So once you click on, you will be entering into the session. So if you want to access the contents, you have to click on to the course which you have enrolled. So under the course here, under contents, everyday session will be uploaded in video, PDF, as well as audio. Thank you for joining. So I'll welcome one and all. Request Deepti Bhagini to take over.
Namaskaram everyone, Shubhodaya. So welcome to the NETRUTVA model of leadership for team development. Namaskar Srinidhi Guruji. Welcome to the session and to all the participants who have joined on a Sunday morning. As Nagashri Bhagini informed us, this class will be conducted every Sunday morning. It is a regular class on Sunday mornings. A small introduction to Guruji. So Srinidhi Guruji is a doctorate in quality management based on the spirituality contained in the Bhagavad Gita. Guruji is an academic, administrator, faculty and researcher on quality management based on the principles of spirituality at workplace. Guruji is a beacon in the field of spirituality. He is the author of the book Gita at Workspaces. He has also delivered more than 2,500 lectures and several discourses, 800 plus TV shows in English and in Kannada on the varied topics of management, value education, yoga, and spirituality. Guruji is a Krishna Yajurveda scholar. He is a renowned Carnatic musician. We are blessed to have Guruji taking this course for us. Welcome to the course, Guruji. So a little bit about the course. So as you all know, the Indian knowledge system is a vast resource which can be used in different aspects of our life, be it the personal life or the professional. And the Bhagavad Gita can be told as an army Swiss knife. It has a solution for every problem that you face in life. It has answers to every questions that you may have in life. Any day you have a problem, just open the Gita, whichever page you open, and you will see a solution over there. You have to interpret it in the way for your particular problem. So the Bhagavad Gita, as interpreted by our Guruji, can be used for different levels of leadership and management development. We have a few previous courses that were along the lines of leadership development. We will share these also with you, which are beneficial for our leadership development. So we have management principles from the Indic text, which was handled by our Guruji. Leadership lessons from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which was a first part in this series of leadership development. We had management aspects of Sundarakandam, which was handled by our Venkat Subramaniam Mahodaya Guruji. So in this series, we will be looking at how we can have team development based on the Bhagavad Gita. So once again, welcome everyone to this course, and I hope it is fulfilling and enriching in every aspect of your life. Over to Guruji. Namaskar.
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः. केवलम् एकं प्रास्ताविकं स्वागतभाषणं च अस्माकं परतया वक्तुमिच्छामि. गुरूणाम् अनुज्ञया वदामि वा इति. With your permission, महोदय. राम राम. तत्र श्रीमद् वाल्मीकीय रामायणस्य प्रथमश्लोकं लिखित श्लोकं यदस्ति, रचित श्लोकं एवं गच्छति. All of us know the first shloka. तपस्वाध्याय निरतं तपस्वी वाग्विदाम्बरं नारदं परिपप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिः मुनिपुंगवम्. So there we have two great maharshis and their qualities described. Both are very relevant for us today. The first thing, we will take the easy one, or the one which we need for ourselves, that is Valmikihi Tapasvi. As a student, as a Shishya, the tapasviness is very important for us. We have to have all the qualities of tapas, that is penance, towards acquiring the knowledge, the jnanam. So along with tapas, the vinaya, the patience, that is to absorb the content, hold the questions, mull upon the questions, dwell upon them, think of the probable solutions, then bring it up very tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena. In that way, the prashna should be asked. All of this we all know from the previous lectures. So that kind of a shishyas all of us are already, and we are joining this course with that bhava. That is the first part. But the most important part, or the luckiest part, is the three qualities of the teacher Narada Mahamuni there, which is tapas swadhyaya niratam, the tapas and swadhyaya which is fully there. And when we say swadhyaya, it includes the knowledge of the Bharatiya Jnana Parampara, the Veda, Itihasa, Purana, Vedanga, Upavedadi Jnanam, which is there. So, and that being got in a tapas form. And Vagvidam Varam, one who can express. We have seen many scholars who are there, but unable to express it in the way the audience requires it or the students require it, and clarifying the doubts of the students. That is Vagvidamvaram. Finally, Munipungavam, Manana Sheelaha, Maunatvat Munirityuchyate. Many definitions, 14 definitions are given for that word Muni actually. Now, what is the context for all this shloka and pitika is, we have an apara Narada, Naram Dadati, Jnanam Dadati, Iti Naradaha, in the form of our Guruji, Sri Vedamartanda, Dr. Srinidhi Parthasarathi Mahodayaha. By the knowledge of Veda, Samskrita, Sangita, we know his tapas swadhyaya niratam. By the lectures, Asankhyata lectures, there is no count, thousands of lectures which he has done. We know the Vagvidamvaram. And the Muni Pungavam in his case is a beautiful combination of his practical experience of more than 20 years in the industry, both as an entrepreneur where he himself has done everything, and being in the industry, in the corporate, and in the academia where he himself has been a teacher, a registrar, a principal, an administrator, a COO in the academia, a researcher who has published so many papers. This combination is extremely rare. And that combination, which makes him Pratyaksha Narada Swarupa Jnani, who is the right Guru, Adhikata Tattvaha Shishya Hitaya Satatam Udyate. And Asmakam Andhakaram, Gukarasya Andhakarapya, Rukaras Tan Nirodhakaha, Tadrisha Gurun Pranamya. I once again welcome our Guruji. Namah Prastad Ataprishthataste Namostute Sarvata Eva Sarva. On behalf of all the students, I salute you with folded hands, Sanjali Baddha Pranamam Samarpayamaha. And I hope all the students are lucky enough to take the benefit of this entire course, and bring all your friends, bring all the corporate friends, college friends. I am sure, I can guarantee you, the experience which you are going to have is going to be phenomenal, unique, world class. Abhutapurva experience you are going to have. Last time we had 4,000 people signing up for this course, and more than 400 getting assessed and certified. That is, so many people have been benefited across colleges, universities, corporates. People have been even today telling about that course. So Bhagyavanto Labante, the people who are lucky are here today and will continue. Please share it further. Punaha namaskaran samarpya bhavate pradasyami. Ram Ram Ram. Namaskaraha.
Ram Ram Ram. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I audible?
Yes, Mahoday.
Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayanena swayam vyasena gratitam purana munina madhye mahabharatam advaitamrita varshinim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim amba tvam anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite bhavadveshinim Gita sugita kartavyaha kimanyaihi shastravistaraihi Yasvayam Padmanabhasya Mukhapadma Vinisruta. It's an extremely fortunate morning where we all congregate to experience what Krishna poured onto us as a nectar. It is the true Aparyaptamrita. There might be a lot of honey-like substances, what we could encounter in our worldly life, but something which is sweeter than that honey, which is sweeter than nectar, is Bhagavan's voice, Bhagavan's words, and Bhagavan Uvacha. I am extremely indebted to Vyoma, both the brothers, Sri Dr. Venkat Subramanian and Dr. Vishwanathan, for bestowing this Kainkaryam on this soul. Bhagavad Gita is not just a religious book. Bhagavad Gita is not just a text. It is a manual for life. Because I have told this in the previous episodes, it has not been told on the hilltop. It has not been told in the forests. It has not been told in some secluse. It has been told at the workplace. For a warrior, the workplace is the Ranabhumi, or the operation zone, which is called as the battlefield. For Arjuna, the battlefield was his operations zone. So the entire Bhagavad Gita talks about management, how to prepare ourselves for every situation, how to prepare ourselves for every aspect what we are going to encounter, because management is aging of a man. Man aging is not just physically growing. Aging of a man is ripening of a man, and ripening of a man happens physically, mentally, psychologically, socially, and spiritually. We have experienced the Bhagavad Gita's contribution towards self-development in the 25 episodes which happened in the last series. This would not really be a continuation, but Vyoma has been extremely kind through extreme anubhuti and through extreme daya. They have stored all these lectures for people who register for any course can download any course. This is how Vyoma operates, because it is one connection that the Lord has sent to this earth. We need to understand that there is a connection between the Jivatma and Paramatma, and that connection is apritak siddha. That is, that connection cannot be cut by anybody, including the Lord himself. So this Vyoma platform, Sanskrit from home, is the extension of the Lord's daya and the Lord's anubhuti, because the Lord manifests himself in 5 forms, from the Paraswarupa, Para, Vibhava, Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Archa, and the Antaryami. In Para, he is the Vaikunthanatha. Vaikunthe tu pareloke shriyasardham jagatpatihi aste vishnurachintyatma bhaktaihi bhagavatai saha. He is in the Vaikuntha. In the Vaikuntha, he can only listen to the Samagana, which have been told or recited by the released souls. Then, out of immense compassion towards us, he comes down one step to the Kshirabdhi. And in the Kshirabdhi, as the Kshirabdhi Natha, he listens to all the celestial beings. The Bhagavata also says, Tatra gatva jagannatham devadevam vrushakapim purusham purushasukthena. In the Krishna Avatara, when Mother Earth goes with Brahmadi Devatas, the celestial beings, they go to the northern direction. Jagannatham devadevam vrushakapim. In the Subodhini, Vallabhacharya beautifully explains the Vyakhyana for this particular shloka. Who is Vrishakapi? Who protects the dharma in this entire Ubhaya Vibhuti. Not being satisfied that he is only blessing the celestials in the Vyuha, he comes down as Vibhava. Matsya Kurma Varaha Namo Nama Simha Vamana Rama Namo Nama Rama Rama Shri Krishna Namo Nama Kalki Rupa. The Dashawataras, he comes down. But what is there in Kali? Krishnavatara got completed. Then the Kali Yuga started. What is our fate in Kali? So the Lord manifests himself as the Archavatara in all the temples, in all the homes, so that we can experience his grace, the daya, the anubhuti, what he has in Paratva, what he has in Vyuha, what he has in Vibhava, he also has in Archa. So he is there in every home and every temple. He left his abode, Tripad Urdhva Udait Purushaha, Padosyehad Bhavat Punaha. 3/4 is the Nityam Bhuti or the Vaikuntha. 1/4 is this Leela Vibhuti or the created universe, is only 1/4. So he leaves the 3/4 out of great compassion and he comes to all our homes. That is the reason a beautiful name has been given by his own self, that like how I manifest myself in every home, Sanskrit from home should be there at every home. This is what is the connection between the Jiva, the created, and the creator. The Sanskrit from home is the true representation of him, because the Lord rests in every syllable of the Sanskrit language. Aksharanam akarosmi is what he has said. He is there in every syllable of the Sanskrit language in the Shabdarupa. That is why Sanskrit from home is the true representation of the Lord in every home. And once we start experiencing the various courses which have been offered out of great compassion by Vyoma or Sanskrit from home, then he will become Harda inside us. He will manifest himself inside us as the Antaryami. Because Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishtaha Matta Smrutihi Gnanam Apohamcha Vedaischa Sarvaihi Ahameva Vedyaha Vedanta Krit Veda Videha Chaham. The 15th verse of the 15th chapter beautifully brings out that what is told by his own self in the Vedas, that Anta Pravishta Shasta Jananam Sarvatma Sarva Karma Kartaram Etati. I rest in everybody. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha Bhutatma Avastita Sada. This is what Kapila Vasudeva tells Devahuti in the 3rd canto of the Srimad Bhagavata. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha Bhutatma Avastita Sada Tamanugyaya Mammartyaha Kurute Archa Vidambanam. He says that I reside in every human being. I reside in every creation. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gabihastini, Shunichaiva Shwapakecha, Panditaha Samadarshinaha. A Pandit, a person who has raised himself through knowledge, would look at all created beings as the same, as equal. Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Very importantly, the entire creation, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishta, Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. The Devatas, the Manushyas, the Tiryak, the Sthavaras, the entire Vyasti Shrishti is here to support us in our development. That is why, very importantly, when we live in the society, we live in the midst of the creation of the Creator. So, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha Bhutatma Avastita Sada. I rest in everybody, in the entire creation. So, I request, or I require, I order, I direct Tamanugnyaya Mammartyaha. A person who disrespects that creation, a person who disrespects the other person who is living along with him, a person who disrespects anybody by caste, creed, education, money, or anything, I am not going to receive his prayers. Tamanugnyaya mammartyaha purute archa vidambanam. We insult somebody who is along with us, then run to the temple and then do the Anjali Mudra. God is not going to accept. Team, a group, and what do you give to the team is more important than what you have for your own self. Vivekananda beautifully said, be and make, which is the vision of Yes Vyasa University. Be and make. First, the being which is inside you. We are all spiritual beings in a human form. The being which is inside you is Gnana Anandamaya. There is infinite knowledge inside us. There is infinite delight inside us. We should start manifesting that infinity which is there inside us. And once we start manifesting that, then we will have to distribute it, like how we distribute the prasada, like how we offer naivedyam to the Lord and distribute the offerings to everybody. We need to distribute whatever we get. Keraya Neeranu Kerege Challi is what is told by Purandaradasa. Keraya Neeranu, we take water from a pond and then we give it back to the same pond. In the same way, team development becomes as important or more important than our own development, because as Kapila Vasudeva in the Srimad Bhagavata, he says, if somebody disrespects, if somebody does not spare a thought to develop the team members, to develop family members, to give what he has to family members and team members, then I am not going to take that person's call or his prayers. Even if he calls me, I will say, go and recognize my presence inside the person who is there with you inside your team. So with these thoughts and profusely thanking Vyoma, both Vishwanathan and Venkatesubramaniam, the two brothers, we would begin this particular course on this auspicious note. We will dedicate this particular course to the eternal charioteer, whose sounds of the conch shell save us from fear and misery and uplift us in the right path of action. This is the translation of the third para of Bharata Bhagya Vidhata. The first para is taken as our national anthem. The Bharata Bhagya Vidhata, written by Rabindranath Tagore, has got 5 paras. People give commentary on that he wrote that to receive some Englishmen. But it is not that. If he had to receive the Englishmen, calling them as Bharata Bhagya Vidhata, then the third para does not find a place, because the conch shell was used only by one who is the eternal charioteer, and he was the Parthasarathi. The third verse or third para says, Patana Abhyudaya Bandhura Pantha, Yuga Yuga Dhavat Ratri, He Chirasarathi, Tavaratha Chakre, Mukurit Pathadin Ratri, Daruna Viplava Maje, Tava Shankadvani Bhaje, Sankata Dukkhatratha, Janagana Patha Parichayaka Jaya He, Bharata Bhagya Vidhata, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya 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 He. It's a beautiful dedication given by Rabindranath Tagore and commentators who wrote the commentary to Bharata Bhagya Vidhata say that he had written it for Krishna himself. Looking at this third para, because it says to the eternal chariot, Patana Abhyudaya Bandhura Pantha, Yuga Yuga Dhavat Ratri. People, run around. Udara Nimittam Bahukrita Vesham is what Shankaracharya says. We run around for our Sharira Poshana. Uddipya Svajata Vedo Apagnan Nirarutim Mama Pashuguscha Makyamavaha Jivanam Cha Disho Dasha. Disho Dasha. I run around in 10 directions, but in all these places, I need to brighten my intellect. I need to brighten my intellect. How do I brighten my intellect? I cannot do it. Somebody who has brightened the intellect of Tejo Rashis has to brighten my intellect. The person who is Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti, who is in the orb of the sun, who has Deya Sada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti, Narayanaha Sarasijasana Sandivishtaha, Keyuravan Makarakundalavan Kiriti, Hari Hiranmayo Vapuhu, Krita Shankashakraha. He says, Apranakat Sarvayeva Suvarnaha, Hiranyas Mashruhu, Hiranyakeshaha, Apranakat Sarvayeva Suvarnaha is Chandogya Upanishad, the Antaraditya Vidya says. That is, the Lord is in the orb of the sun and illuminates the sun so that the sun gets the power of giving us light. In the same way, only when there is intellect which is brightened, then the mind gets brightened. Mind does not have the light on its own. So, Yuga Yuga Dhavata Ratri, the soul, through various births, it comes. And then it is in darkness. The Lord, He will have to handhold the soul and then illuminate the intellect so that we start living in light and not in darkness. Patana Abhyudaya Bandhura Pantha. He is the companion. The Paramatma is the companion for the Jivatma. He handholds and takes us to wherever we need to go. Yuga Yuga Dhavat Ratri, He Chirasarathi, Tavaratha Chakre, Mukurut Pata Din Ratri. We sleep in the night. We are unconscious or oblivious of whatever happens around us. Who is protecting us in the night? He is protecting us in the night. Daruna Viplava Maje. When there is absolute ignorance, when I am not able to create anything, when I am not able to conceive anything, when I am not able to realize anything, when I am not able to find a solution for a problem, at that particular point in time, Tava Shankadvani Bhaje. The conch, which is the representation of the Pranava, which is the representation of the Omkara. A, U, and Ma are three syllables of the Omkara. Makara signifies the soul. Manugnane is the dhatu. So Makara signifies the soul. Akarartho Vishnu. Akara signifies the Paramatma. Makara signifies all of us, that is the Jivatma. And the Ukara in between is the connection or the teacher who connects the Jivatma and Paramatma. That Shankadvani, the Shankadvani, the sound of the conch. The sound of the conch is the Pranavanada, is the Omkara. There he says, I am there for you. I am there for you. I hold your hand and you will be successful. Because when we look at the Bhagavad Gita, Vishwanathan beautifully started with the Ramayana. When we look at the Charma Shloka of both the Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana, there is one common feature. There is one common word, that is, don't worry. Do not have fear. Be fearless, because I am there to hold your hand. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Yekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaishyami Ma Shuchaha. He shows his Abhayahasta. Do not fear, Ma Shuchaha, do not fear. There, in the Ramayana, Sakrideva Prapannaya Tava Asmi Iti Cha Yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadam Yetad Vratam Mama. This is the common factor between what Rama said and what Krishna said. This is the common factor between the two Charma Shlokas. This is the common factor what the God spelled through his own mouth. Do not fear abhayam sarvabhutebhyaha, abhayam and ma shuchaha. Daruna viplava maje, tava shankadvani baje. I am there for you. I am always connected with you. Nobody, including me, can cut that connection which is there between you and me. Sankata dukkha trata. I will protect you at every nanosecond in your life and beyond. Janagana patha parichayaka jaya he, Bharata bhagya vidhata. Jaya he, jaya he, jaya he. Let there always be victory on to the Lord. That is why in the Gopika Gita, also gopis start with Jayati te dhikam, victory to you, O Lord. Swami Vedanta Deshika starts the Raghuvira Gadhya as Jayati Ashrita Santrasa Dvanta Vidvam Sanodhya Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Parama vyoma-bhaskara. So Patana Abhyudaya Bandhura Pantha Yuga Yuga Dhavata Ratri Hechira Sarati Tavarata Chakre Mukurita Patadina Ratri Taruna Viplava Maje Tava Shankhatvani Bhaje Sankata Dukkhatrata Janagada Patha Parichayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He. All Mangala Shasanams, all victory to Sri Krishna for whatever he has done, he has been doing, and he will do for us, because this soul is eternal. Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehe sarvasva bharata. In the bodies where this soul had entered before, the body in which this soul is there now, and the body in which the soul is going to enter till it reaches the path of no return, if at all there are any karmayattavad sharira, any sharira which is born out of karma, in those bodies also he will protect this soul. We need to understand nasta dharme na vasunichaye naiva kamopa bhoge yadyad bhavyam bhavatu bhagavan purva karmana rupam yetat prarthyam mama bahumatam janma janmantarepi tvatpadambo ruha yugagata nischala bhakti rastu. That connection between the Lord, the Jivatma, and Paramatma through bhakti should always be intact. So Adi Shankara Bhagavad always says that always give me your remembrance. Paurohityam rajanitaritam gramanetvam niyogaha mathapatyam andritavachanam sakshivada parannam brahmadveshaha khalajanaratihi praninam nirdayatvam mabho devaha harapashupate janma janmantarepi. He says, don't give me these professions where I may not think of you. Give me a profession where I always think of you. Because in life, whenever we get difficulties, we think of the Lord. Kunti asks that give me only difficulties. Give me. Vipadas santu nashashpati tatra tatra jagadguro. Vipadas santu naha shashpati. Krishna says, what are you asking? You're asking me for troubles. Everybody asks me to remove troubles. You are asking me for troubles. Then she says, not ordinary troubles. Give me troubles so that I always think of you. Krishna asks, what will happen if you think of me? She says, I'll get liberation. You will come in. When I think of you, as soon as I think of you, you will come and stand in front of me. And when I'm having your darshana, apunarbhava darshana, I will never have another human birth. We need to understand that Bhagavad Gita is a moksha grantha. When we work, we will be going towards perfection, because every seat is a seat of sacrifice. We are going to come to that. We are going to come to that in the very first aspect of team development. We're going to come, because what we have to do for release 99.99999 recurring percentage of people, without understanding the Indian knowledge systems, do it to get bound. We need to understand every work what we do should be done for release and not to get bound again. We need to understand this, because every job what we do is his aradhana. When we sleep, when we talk, when we do any work, it is his aradhana. That is what Adi Shankar Bhagavad Pada says. He says, Stotrani sarvagira, yadyat karma karomi tattadakhilam, shambho tavaradhanam, nidra samadhi sthiti, sanchara padayo pradakshina vidhi. When I am walking, it is pradakshina. So like this, we need to work so that we start getting released out of our karmas. If we have to start getting released out of our karmas, we should always remember one thing, that I am not doing this work. I am not the creator of the work. The result is also not mine. I am only an instrument in his hand, and he is getting this work done through me. It is gotten done. Naham karta, naidam mama karma, phalamapi namama, gavaneva svaniyamya. I am directed to do this job by the Lord with this dedication. Let us start this verse. The journey towards perfection. This is the first lines of the book Gita at Workspaces, which he wrote it through this instrument. The journey towards perfection forms the purpose of every progressive man, manager, organization, or family. This is a journey traversed by both a manager and a spiritual thinker alike. Whenever we are working, we want to ascend towards perfection. Whenever we are working, we want to go towards perfection. We have something called the Six Sigma today. We also have a philosophy called as Z, Z-E-D. Z is zero defect. Z is zero defect. Six Sigma is 3.14 defects for 1 million instances. That is Six Sigma. Then somebody thought that in our Brahmasutra Bhasha, there is something called as the Swarupa Nirupaka Dharma of the God. Let me not confuse you with all these complicated Sanskrit words. Swarupa Nirupaka Dharma is the identification mark. The identification mark of God. What is the identification mark of God? When we talk of identification mark of God, or our identification mark, I say I have a scar on the eyebrow, I have some scar on the back. So we will give our bodily identification mark. But what is the identification mark of God? Akhila heya pratyanika samasta kalyana guna paripurna. This is the identification of the creator or the God. Akila heya pratyanika. Heya is defect. Akila heya pratyanika, zero defect. Samasta kalyana guna paripurna. That is, he is full of qualities. He is full of qualities. So quality management starts there. And Akhila Heya Pratyanika is the Z philosophy, Z-E-D philosophy in quality management. Zero defect philosophy. We have forgotten our roots. But there are people outside India who want to travel the route to our roots, R-O-U-T-E to R-O-O-T-S. The Indian knowledge system today has given us an opportunity to traverse the route to the roots. So the journey towards perfection, we are all here craving towards journey towards perfection, but only few get it because perseverance, offering ourselves to the Lord, and then with immense love. There are three qualities required to go towards perfection. One thing is persistence or perseverance. The second one is immense love towards the work. We need to work with love. We need to work with passion. Work has to be a de-stressor and not a stressor. We need to understand. And then the third one is out of servitude, offering ourselves to the Lord. This is the explanation given in the 10th verse of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. He says, three qualities if a person has got, I take him to the next stage of working. A person who performs with these three aspects in mind, I take him to the next stage of working, and only few graduate and come towards perfection. And what is perfection? Perfection is God. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs, from the physiological need, it comes to self-actualization. But our Indian knowledge systems goes beyond that and says self-actualization is only one stage. There is something called as God realization and service to God. Then here in the 3rd verse of the 7th chapter, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yadyati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Out of thousands, lakhs, and crores of people. He also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamayonir Mahadbrahma Aham Bijapradapita. He says, like a farmer, how he sows seeds in the field. The Prakriti is the womb, and I sow the seeds in this Prakriti, and from there, crores and crores of seeds I sow, but only some, they come up and become saplings. They become plants. Some become saplings, some become plants, some become trees, some bear flowers, some bear fruits, and some fruits are taken by me. That is what he says. This is how Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit. Out of thousands, thousand is a representation. It is crores and crores and crores, like what Patanjali says, that 82 lakh yonis. So much of creation. Kaschit, someone, because he talks about spiritual beings in a human form here, because the human form is the only Manushya Janma is the sadhana sharira what we have been given. Everything else is only to enjoy or suffer the karmas. But in a man, as a man, we can do our sadhana. Out of thousands of people, kaschit, someone, siddhaye yatate, endeavors to attain perfection, goes towards perfection. Yatatam api siddhanam, out of those who strive hard and perfect the knowledge of the essential nature and distinctive characteristics. First, try to understand the real identity. Leave the deha atma bhimana. Deha atma bhimana, that is, the soul is the body. Trying to only nurture the body, forget the soul. First step is to remove that. We should understand that we are soul and not this body. From there, we start going to the inside out approach. Kaschit, a very rare one, Mam Tattvataha Veti, will know my reality as it is. Because in an organization, in an institution, the system is God. The process of work is God. We need to understand that the process of work is God and system is God. When we take this and go deeper and deeper, at that point in time, only a few go towards perfection in work, and that perfection is zero defect and full of quality, and that is God. That is what he says in this third verse. So we start with this introduction that from the level in which we are in terms of work, we start going higher and higher in work. In the last sessions, we saw that development is at three levels: the individual level, the team level, and the organizational level. We saw development at the individual level or the level of the self in the 25 episodes in the last thing. And we also defined this, the first 2-3 slides I have taken from the last episode so that we can have the link. We have had the definition of leadership from the Oxford and Cambridge Dictionary. Cambridge Dictionary talks about the self. Oxford Dictionary talks about the team. The first definition from the Oxford Dictionary, the action of leading a group of people or an organization, is leadership. Cambridge Dictionary says the set of characteristics that make a good leader. So NETRUTVA model at the level of the self was the second definition. NETRUTVA model for team development is for the first definition. And Harvard Business Review defines leadership. Leadership is an accomplishment of a goal through the direction of human assistance. The man who successfully marshals his human collaborators to achieve particular ends is a leader. A clearly set end, a particular end. This is what is outcome-based education today. We should understand what is outcome. A great leader is one who can do so day by day, year on year, minute on minute, hour on hour, in a wide variety of circumstances. Because as a leader, we wear multiple caps. We need to control our emotions. We need to express different emotions and change them quickly. That is why wide variety of circumstances. A man who can control his emotion is a human being. A man who cannot control his emotions is an animal. In the Rama Avatara, he showed how to control his emotions and not go from nadir to the hilt. We need to understand that when he was asked to go to the forest by Kaikeyi, he says, what a partiality you are doing. You are giving me a 14-year ticket to go to a forest resort and enjoy. But you are putting all the weight of administration of a country on the shoulders of that young boy who is Bharata. This is what Kalidasa says. Amba te pakshapataha. He says, this is a partiality which you are doing, because Sita says, Sita was not there when Kaikeyi gave that verdict of going for 14 years to the forest. She says to Anjaneya in the Sundarakandam, Manasa purvamasadhya vachasa punarabravit. First, he had decided to go to the forest with a lot of happiness. Then afterwards, he says, Yan pinnavan petta shalvam adiyanen pettadanno mannavan padi andrahilum numpani marappanoyam. Yan pinnavan petta shalvam adiyanen pettadanno is what Kambaramayana Kamba says in the Ramayana. And when he was asked to relinquish the throne and then go to the forest, at that point in time, அப்போது அலர்ந்து சந்தாமரையை வென்றதம்மா. In the Kambanattalvar, in the Kambaramayana, he says that just as the rising sun brings out the entire beauty of a lotus, Rama's face at that moment even won that beautiful lotus. We need to understand that Sukha Dukhe Samekritva Labha Labhau Jaya Jayau. Rama followed it for Krishna to say. So the variety of circumstances, controlling that Emotion is very important. And finally, leadership is the art of inspiring or motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. In an organizational setting, this can mean guiding workers and colleagues with a plan to meet the organization's objectives. These four definitions we saw in the previous episode. We also saw that leadership is at the level of the self and at the level of the team. Now, we will look at leadership lessons through the Bhagavad Gita. We saw some great thinkers in the last series, what they spoke about Bhagavad Gita. We also saw Vivekananda, Lokamanya Balagangadhar Tilak last time, what people like Albert Einstein speak about Gita. When I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. This statement is attributed to Albert Einstein. He says Bhagavad Gita is the main source of my inspiration. He says Bhagavad Gita is the main source of my inspiration, and it's a guide for the purpose of scientific investigation and formation of my theories. This is attributed to Albert Einstein. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says, I owed a magnificent day to the Bhagavad Gita. It was the first of books. It was as if an empire spoke to us. Nothing small or unworthy, but large, serene, consistent, the voice of an old intelligence, which is another age and climate had pondered and thus disposed of the same question which exercise us. That is why Ralph Waldo Emerson, this thought actually reflects Amba Tvam Anusandhadami. Amba, Bhagavad Gita is the divine mother, because the first culture for every child is given by the mother. Carl Jung, who was the student of Sigmund Freud, he says the idea that man is like unto the inverted tree seems to have been current in bygone ages. The link with Vedic conceptions is provided by Plato in his Timesius, in which that is one of the book written by Plato, in which it states, behold, we are not an earthly but a heavenly plant. The 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Carl Jung says this correlation can be discerned by what Krishna expresses in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Urdhvamulam adhashakam ashwattam prahurabhyayam chandamsi yasya parinani yastam veda savedavit. A person who knows that the root is at the top and this creation is an inverted tree, he is a person who knows all. Dr. Annie Besant said it is meant to lift the aspirant from lower level of renunciation, where only objects are renounced, to the loftier heights where desires are dead and where yogi dwells in calm and in ceaseless contemplation. While the body and mind are actively employed in duties that fell his lot in life. Very importantly, this talks about the moksha sannyasa yoga. What is true sannyasa? What is true tyaga? Tasyam nyasamesham atirikta bahu. That is what the Mahanarayana Upanishad says. So all these four definitions we have seen, and then from the next session we will see. This is what we saw in the last series, that is NETRUTVA model at the self, where we have to develop certain qualities. And in the next session, we will be seeing NETRUTVA model at the level of the team, where we see there is a printing mistake. It should be at the team development, nourishing relationships, empathy, transformation, respect for all, unity in diversity, tolerance, veracious conduct and accountability. We will be looking at each of these aspects How do we develop? What does Gita say about them? How do we do it? How do we practice? From the next session, we will be having quizzes. We will also be having questionnaires so that we can self-evaluate ourselves. With these thoughts, we conclude this particular episode and then proceed along into that real wealth which God Himself, out of entire mercy, has given us. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahimmahishaha gobrahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam lokas samastas sukhino bhavantu. Thank you so very much and have a great week ahead.
Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. On this auspicious Narasimha Jayanti day, and even as the other people are also celebrating a Mother's Day, so it is many good things have come today for all of us. We are all totally blessed. Anugrihitaha dhanyaha vayam sarve. Paunah punyena kartagnatam samarpayamaha. Over to Deepti Bhagini and Nagashri Bhagini to close the class. Thank you. Ram Ram.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಮಹೋದಯ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.